present Nicholas Parsons, Clement Freud and Geraldine Jones in just a minute. And as the minute waltz fades away, here to tell you about it is this week's chairman, Kenneth Williams.
Thank you, yes, it is me, your own heart-rendingly lovable Kenneth Williams. And here I am surrounded by buzzers, stopwatches, and a lot of rules. I also have a list of unlikely subjects for the panel to talk about for 60 seconds each, without pausing, without going off the subject, and without repetition. In other words, keeping going and sticking to the point and not repeating themselves. Now, it's Nicholas Parsons to start, and your subject this week is the days of the week, starting from now.
Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Mardi, lundi, mercredi, jeudi, vendredi, samedi, dimanche. Lunes, martes, miércoles, jueves, viernes, sábado, domingo. It's so interesting sometimes to listen to the wireless and you hear the announcer say that tomorrow will be muggy, followed by tuggy, weggy, thurgy, swaggy, and soggy. And of course soggy are so many of the days of the week in this country. Wet, miserable, and eventually so wet that you sometimes wonder why you ever get up in the morning to face the British weather. Now, the days of the week that...
Clement Freud, what grounds are you challenging?
Repetition.
Repetition, yes. Well, I think you're justified there. Yes, I think there was a bit of repetition there. Yes.
What did I repeat?
Well, I can't exactly recall what, but I know there was a feeling. Well, perhaps you better ask the audience. Do you think he was repeating himself? If so, cheer.
Yeah.
Oh, well, that's
I admit it.
Oh, there was repetition. Right, well, there's a point to you, Clement Freud, and you have the subject, the days of the week, starting from now.
The Days of the Week is situated in the Chapter Hall of London University and is one of the most splendid buildings of its kind anywhere in any European capital city. The president of this...
Yes, well, Clement Freud, you were still speaking when the bell went, so you get a point, and at the moment you are leading, and Nicholas Parsons and Miss Geraldine Jones are trailing along behind.
We haven't scored yet.
Now we go to the next subject. This goes to you, Geraldine. You have 60 seconds to speak about parking meters starting from now.
The essential thing to remember about parking meters is that you must always treat them with respect and affection. There are some inanimate objects like can openers which you can successfully bully, but parking meters should always be treated rather as you treat donkeys. You should feed them little coins as you feed donkeys sugar lumps. And in this way you establish a bond with the parking meter against the traffic warden, because the parking meter doesn't like the traffic warden.
Nicholas Parsons?
I thought there was rather losses with repetition, but
yes.
4 I've counted.
I got quite worked up, though. I loved all that stuff about the donkey. I thought she was quite good, really.
Well, her parking meter's in a very expensive area, obviously, but there were 4 of them.
There were 4. Were there 4 parking meters? Well, there was repetition then, I'm afraid. Yes, I'll have to take that point. Nicholas gets a point for that, and the subject goes to you, Nicholas. You have 35 seconds in which to discuss parking meters starting from now.
The best thing to do if you have a car is to put a parking meter on the back seat before you set off. Having arrived at your destination, you get out, you stick it straight into the ground, and then you...
Clement Freud?
Hesitation.
Hesitation, yes. I heard you quite justified. There was hesitation there, yes. No question about it. There's a really bitty hesitation there. Yes. And so, the subject goes to Clement Freud. You have 23 seconds in which to discuss parking meters starting from now.
It is a little-known fact that these parking meters also accept coins of other denominations and other countries. I'm not sure whether I shall be allowed to go on with this because we're now ranging on the criminal activities, but any parking meter in London accepts 1 cent...
Nicholas Parsons?
Hesitation.
Hesitation, yes, I feel that's quite justified. You were hesitating there. I did feel that, yes. You don't agree?
Of course he doesn't agree.
Oh, well, we'd like the audience. We'd like the audience's views on that.
No, you don't.
We'd like the audience's view on that. Do you think Clement Freud was hesitating? If so, boo. Oh, they do think you were hesitating, I'm afraid. Yes. So Nicholas Parsons gets a point, and Nicholas, you have 7 seconds approximately in which to discuss parking meters starting from now. Clement Freud, you're challenging again.
Hesitation, he didn't start.
Hesitation. Yes, that's perfectly justified. So the subject goes back to Clement Freud and you gain a point. And you have now got 6 seconds in which to discuss parking meters, starting from now.
They are...
Nicholas
Hesitation.
Parsons, on what grounds are you challenging?
Hesitation.
Hesitation?
Exactly the same as me. He got me on that. I'll get him as well then.
I will not have my authority flouted. I am the chairman. No, don't laugh. It's wicked. I am the chairman. Yeah. Now, I've got to
I don't want to
decide.
flout with you, Kenneth.
I can't keep on appealing to the audience. You must understand. Now, you retain the point, Clement, and you must discuss parking meters. You have approximately 5 seconds, starting from now.
In Northumberland Avenue, these parking meters are situated at 5-yard intervals.
Yes, well, at the end of that round, Clement is definitely in the lead. Clement Freud is in the lead. Nicholas is next, and I'm afraid Geraldine is trailing very far behind. So now we go on to the next subject, which is Clement Freud's. You have 60 seconds in which to discuss wine, women, and song, starting from now.
To put it succinctly, Chateauneuf-du-Pape, 1949, Daphne, Deirdre, God Save the Queen. Now this, you may well think, is not the ideal way of discussing wine, women, and song, but for a married man with only 53 seconds to go, it's a sort of good try.
Nicholas Parsons, your turn.
Deviation. I've got a watch in front of me. He actually has more or less than 53 seconds to go.
Oh, well, yes, that's a very good point. It's a very good point. Yes, you gain a point there from Nicholas, and the subject is yours. Wine, women, and song, which was discussed now for approximately 35 seconds, starting from now.
Nuit Saint-Georges, 1963. Cecilia, Cynthia, and Obadiah. And songs, oh, Take Me to the Moon and Come Again, Charlie. Delightful songs. And if you ever put all these three together, you have the title of this particular subject that I've been asked to talk about for the remaining seconds that are available to me for wine, women, and...
Yes, Geraldine Jones, why are you challenging?
Repetition.
Repetition, yes, I'm afraid it's perfectly reasonable, I'm afraid. Yes, Geraldine Jones gains a point, and the subject is hers now. Wine, women, and song, you have approximately 14 seconds starting from now.
I don't think I've ever been less well qualified to talk about a subject than I am to talk about this one. I know very...
Clement Freud, why are you
Deviation.
Deviation,
If she's
yes.
not qualified.
Yes, I'm
Shut
afraid
up.
so. Absolutely. Perfectly reasonable, I must say. Yes. Clement, you gain a point there, and the subject is back with you. Wine, women, and song. You have approximately 7 seconds to discuss it.
There are many different kinds of wine, just as there are different women and different songs, but I'd like to concentrate on the first sentence, which is...
Oh! He's won again. Yes, well, at the end of that round, Clement Freud is definitely in the lead. It's a fantastic lead, Clement. I must congratulate you. You're revealing intellectual prowesses I never knew you
Oh,
possessed.
shut up! He's got 2 points more than us,
It's
isn't he?
no good revealing your chagrin, Nicholas. I can actually see your chagrin from here. You are second, which is consoling, and
You're
Geraldine, I'm
flouting
afraid,
again, you know.
I'm afraid, lagging like the tortoise, Geraldine. You must look out. This is for you, Clement. Will you speak for 60 seconds on Benjamin Franklin, starting from now?
Benjamin Franklin, as you all know, is the captain of South Hampstead Cricket Club, one of the most vile exponents of underarm bowling. It has been my...
There's Nicholas Parsons.
Hesitation.
Hesitation, I'm afraid that's absolutely true.
Yes.
You have a point, and you can take the subject up. Benjamin Franklin, you have, 45 seconds starting from now.
Having played against South Hampstead Cricket, I can tell you that Benjamin Franklin's bowling is devastating. The last time I went out to face him, I asked...
Yes, Clement Freud?
Deviation. Underarm bowling is not devastating.
Yeah, precisely. I'm afraid that's a very definite point. Very valid. Very valid. Yes. You get 1 point, Clement, and the subject goes back to you. Benjamin Franklin, you've approximately 35 seconds starting from now.
Since I first met him, he has been transferred to West Hampstead Cricket Club, for whom he bowls overarm googlies, which are quite dangerous. He interposes these with Chinamen from time to time, but...
Yes, Nicholas?
While I know it's a cricketing phrase, to me it is very devious to throw a Chinaman.
Throw a Chinaman.
He was throwing Chinaman, and
Yes.
it sounds to me very... He said they were dangerous, too. Dangerous Chinaman.
bowling.
Yes. Yes, I think it's a practice which should be frowned upon. Yes. I don't think Chinamen are there to be thrown about. And that's an absolutely valid point. Yes, valid point. And you gain a point in so doing, and you have the subject back. You have approximately 20 seconds in which to discuss Benjamin Franklin, starting from now.
Of course, when I played against him and he was playing for West Hampstead Cricket, some of...
This is Geraldine Jones. You're challenging.
Repetition. He was playing against him last time you talked.
Yes, we've heard an awful lot about that.
A different club. He's
No,
moved on.
nonetheless, my
Mr.
rule
Freud
must prevail. We've
had
heard
moved
an
him
awful
on.
lot about it. Yes, Geraldine Jones gets the subject. You've approximately 15 seconds, Geraldine, in which to discuss Benjamin Franklin, starting from now.
The only Benjamin Franklin I have ever heard of, as the audience has only ever heard of him, is the American president. I don't quite know when he lived, but I believe that he has his head on some American coin, and all Americans, being patriotic people, look upon him with a sort of friendly benevolence.
Yes, well, the next subject, this is for Nicholas Parsons. The subject is stirring up a hornet's nest. You have 60 seconds to discuss stirring up a hornet's nest without saying the, T-H-E, the. You must not say the, but you have 60 seconds to discuss stirring up a hornet's nest, starting from now.
One of the most...
Yes, that's perfectly true. Yes, it was the, wasn't it? He said the, Clement. Yes, you're quite right. You gain a point, and you have the subject stirring up a hornet's nest without saying the, starting from now.
One of a very unusual series of accidents befell me when I met some hornets walking down a street in Bayswater Village, which, as you all know, is outside Wiltshire Crematorium near Shaftesbury. These animals buzzed around my head in a perfectly alarming way, and an elderly sexton came up, asked whether perhaps he might be of assistance, to which I replied that would be an exceedingly kindly action, and touched my hat. Hornets...
Yes, Geraldine.
Hesitation.
I'm afraid there was a little hesitation there, yes. You gain a point, Geraldine, and you have the subject stirring up a hornet's nest without saying the, and approximately 20 seconds to do so, starting from now.
So rich is our language in imagery that I lived to a great age before I realized that hornets were in fact wasps. I had always assumed that stirring up a hornet's nest meant simply making trouble accidentally.
Clement Freud?
Hesitation.
Hesitation, yes, quite definitely. Hesitation there. You have 1 point for that, and you have now got about 4 seconds in which to discuss stirring up a hornet's nest without saying the, starting from now.
Which does mean making trouble to some extent, but not...
Well, Clement, you're like a veritable greyhound in this race. And you are still leading. Nicholas still second. Geraldine still third. So let's see if we can make any difference with this one. Geraldine, it's for you. Can you speak for 60 seconds about blancmange? Blancmange. Without saying A. A. The letter A is on the card, not E-H. The letter A. You have 60 seconds starting from now.
I have long cherished the ambition to make blancmange a sort of ammunition.
Yes, I'm afraid you did say it. And Clement, I presume that was what your challenge was about?
Yes, it was.
Yes, you win a point, and you have the subject. You have to discuss, you have 55 seconds to discuss blancmange without saying A, starting from now.
Blancmange, I seem to recall, is the race that takes place in France.
Nicholas, why
Hesitation.
Hesitation, yes, I'm afraid there was hesitation there. So Nicholas gains a point, and you have the subject, Nicholas. Blancmange, without saying A, starting from now.
Blancmange was the most revolting matron I can ever remember.
Geraldine?
Hesitation.
Hesitation?
Monsieur William.
Do the audience think he was hesitating? If you do, you do. Now, come along. If you think he was hesitating, please say boo. Oh, well then, Geraldine, you win. You get the point.
Not say cheer.
Yes, Geraldine gets the point. You have approximately 40 seconds starting from now.
There would be no deadlier weapon than blancmange. Imagine a fleet of jet...
Clement Freud, why are you challenging?
Imagine a fleet.
Imagine a fear. That's quite true. You did say it, I'm afraid. So you lose the subject, and it goes to you, Clement. Blancmange, without saying a, you've about 35 seconds starting from now.
Blancmange is the stickiest, ugliest, greasiest, most gelatinous substance in the...
Yes, Nicholas, why?
Repetition of adjectives.
Well, it's obvious they're all on your side. So you win the point. Nicholas, point to Nicholas, and the subject goes to you, Blancmange, without saying a. You've approximately 30 seconds starting from now.
This matron Blancmange was at a boarding school.
Geraldine?
At a boarding school.
Yes, I'm afraid you said A. You see,
I said
didn't warn
deliberately.
You mustn't say A. Yes. So Geraldine gets a point, and it's your turn to speak about Blancmange. You've approximately, 25 seconds. Blancmange, without saying A, starting from now.
Great fleets of bombers would rush out and drop vast quantities of blancmange on the luckless enemy. I don't think that any napalm could have such a devastating...
Clement Freud?
Such a devastating.
A, yes, there you are. It was said again, you see. So it's Clement Freud's subject now. You've 15 seconds, starting from now.
Among other...
Geraldine, why did you challenge?
It was a cheat, really, among.
No. Why done justified? Why done justified?
Among.
Why done justified? I don't think among can ever be construed as No, I'm not having that.
I thought
It's a challenge to the very basis of my authority, isn't it? Yes, no, eh? No. You get it back, Clement. You still have 12 seconds in which to discuss blancmange without saying A, starting from now.
This is, in many respects, the finest suite on a trolley.
Nicholas Parsons?
on a trolley.
Very well. You have to discuss blancmange, Nicholas. It's 7 seconds you have, starting from now.
It is very difficult to discuss blancmange in 7 seconds from now. Very difficult.
Oh, Oh, I was very worked up there myself. Oh, look, it's narrowing. The gap is definitely narrowing. It's Nicholas creeping up on Clement Freud, so Clement will have to watch it, and Geraldine still lagging a long way behind. So, the next one goes to you, Clement. You have 60 seconds in which to discuss yodeling without saying and, A-N-D. You mustn't say that at all. So, you have 6 seconds to discuss yodeling, starting from now.
Yodeling is an art form for which I myself have very little time indeed. It is performed by elderly Swiss up mountains, which they achieve this noise, I mean to say, by...
Yes?
Hesitation.
Hesitation, yes. Well, Geraldine, you get a point, and the subject goes to you, yodeling without saying and, about 45 seconds, starting from now.
In my opinion, yodeling should never have been allowed to escape from the Alps, where there was a reasonable chance that very few people would ever hear the ghastly noise that yodelers make. Unfortunately, pop singers caught on to the idea that yodeling in a much adulterated form could make a nice record, and so they...
Clement Freud, what's the basis of your challenge? And, yes, you did say it, dear, I'm sorry. Yes, you weren't very nice about yodeling. I do that in my bath. I thought it was very rude. So, you get the subject back, Clement. Yodeling without saying and, about 35 seconds you have, starting from now.
I once did a program on television with Frank Ifield when he spent most of the 28 minutes allocated to the production in producing this fearsome noise to the absolute horror.
Geraldine, you're challenging?
Hesitation.
I didn't feel it. I didn't feel that. I didn't feel you really hesitating. So I'm afraid you lose that, and you lose a point, I'm afraid, yes. And you gain a point, Clement, and you have left 5 seconds in which to discuss yodeling without saying and, starting from now.
This is particularly exciting in the mountains of Lithuania when you...
Half a second to go and you were challenged. Who was it challenged? Nicholas, you challenged. What was the basis of your challenge?
Deviation. They do not yodel in the mountains of Lithuania.
Oh, don't they?
No.
I didn't say they did.
You didn't say they did. What did you say?
In the mountains of Lithuania, you hear very few yodelers.
Ah, well, very valid.
If he had let me speak.
Very valid point. Well, yes, it's a very valid point. It goes back...
twisting you round your flubber.
No, I couldn't be. I'm a man of enormous integrity. I've got a great integrity. Yes, we get it back to Clement. You have half a second and
he's got an enormous
without
score.
saying and, starting from now.
Very few
Yes, you've won again. Oh, yes. Well, Clement is fantastically in the lead. You've dropped again behind, I'm afraid, Nicholas. And Geraldine third. Now, this is one we can catch up, Geraldine. It's for you. You have 60 seconds in which to discuss applause, starting from now.
Applause is really rather like money. It's much nicer to receive it than to give it. If you're sitting in the middle of an audience and you have to clap, the chances are that you'll feel your individuality slipping away from you. You're just one of a mass of ordinary people. If, on the other hand, you're on the stage and you're receiving the applause, you feel tremendously exhilarated. You think all these good people out there are clapping you, just you, and you can...
Oh, what a pity. Nicholas
Three
challenge.
U's, you know. You.
Yes,
Repetition.
you are right. My sympathy, though, was engaged.
Oh, I know my sympathy, but you see, Clement Freud's still in the lead. I've got to fight.
Yes, you have. You've got to fight. Yes, it's perfectly right. You get 1 point, yes, and it's your subject then. Your subject, applause, with 35 seconds starting from now.
There are different kinds of applause. There is the slow hand clap, the fast hand clap. There's one that comes like a pistol shot. It's usually somebody just swatting a fly. There are some that makes you sound as if a barber was stropping his razor. But of course applause basically comes from that old Latin one, plor and al. Now Al was a very interesting chap in Roman times. He was the one who walked over the Alps with Hannibal, and when he got to the top...
Geraldine, why are you challenging?
Deviation. He's talking about applause, not applause.
Yes, that's perfectly valid, yes, absolutely valid point. You gain 1 point, Geraldine. The subject back to you, applause, with 12 seconds starting from now.
The better the applause, the louder it is. It's nice, too, when people add to the clapping by standing up, even standing on their chairs, even standing on the backs of their chairs, in order to...
Yes, well, our little lady won that round. I think that's really wonderful. Isn't that wonderful? Yes, and more power to your elbow, darling. Geraldine creeping up a little now, but Clement Freud, I'm afraid, still in the lead, and Nicholas still second. So we go to the next subject now, which is for Clement. Clement, will you talk for 60 seconds on annual reports, starting from now?
Annual reports have an extraordinary tendency of coming once a year. They're made by chairmen or managing directors of companies at boring meetings where the news that are given them are only alleviated to some extent by the handing around of food and drink. Many of the food-producing companies on the stock market have these annual meetings in hotels, and shareholders only turn up to get a small parcel of goodies like bacon, beer, and fried potato crisps, which they then take out.
Yes, Nicholas?
I don't think the bacon, beer, and potato crisps has got anything to do with the annual report. I consider that to be deviation.
Yes, I'm afraid you're absolutely right, and you gain a point, and the subject is yours. Annual reports with 20 seconds starting from now.
I'm sorry that you asked me to talk about annual reports, because it is a very difficult subject.
Oh, yes? Clement Freud, you're challenging?
Deviation.
Deviation, yes.
It was his own fault.
Quite so. It was. Yes, absolutely true. Very true. Absolutely true. Yes. And the subject goes back to you, Clement. So you have 20 seconds in which to discuss annual report starting from now.
Because the financial year finishes in April, annual reports tend to take place in the early months of the year so that the budget can take into account...
Geraldine?
Hesitation.
Hesitation. Yes, there was a little hesitation there. You gain 1 point, and the subject is yours. You have approximately 8 seconds to discuss annual reports starting from now.
The only possible way to make annual reports interesting is to invent them. There is nothing more fun than sitting at a committee meeting when you know that all the people present have been present at the meeting.
Oh, and you've won that round. Oh, well, this is fantastic. You're really creeping up, darling. Oh, this is wonderful. You're level now with Nicholas Parsons. Isn't that fantastic? Yes. So both of you are miles behind Clement. Next one is... Oh, no, that's the end, isn't it? Oh, that's the end. We can't have any more. No, so that's the end, I'm afraid, of... Wait a minute. And we'll be back... What's that?
Deviation is called just a minute, not wait a minute.
Oh, is it? You should have corrected me.
The chairman of Just a Minute this week was Kenneth Williams. The programme was devised by Ian Messiter and produced by David Harris. We present Kenneth Williams, Clement Freud, and Geraldine Jones in just a minute. And as the minute waltz fades away, here to tell you about it is this week's chairman, Nicholas Parsons.
Thank you very much indeed, and welcome once again to Just a Minute. May I just remind you, for those who may not have heard the programme before, the rules. I'm going to give these three people on the panel some unlikely subject to talk about, which they know nothing about. They must then try and speak for 60 seconds without hesitation, without repetition, and without deviating from the subject. If one of the other two think that they are guilty of this crime, they may challenge them, and if I uphold their challenge, they will gain a point, and if the challenge goes against them, the person who's speaking will gain a point. I think the rest of the points will become clear as we go along, so let us start straight off with Kenneth Williams. Can you talk for just a minute on winter woolies? Starting now.
Winter Woolies got this name because, of course, of the action of Monty Woolley, who used to come on dressed in this red flannelette in The Man Who Came to Dinner. Not to be confused with Monty the General, of course, who, when he arrived in his BVDs in Chongqing, found this old Chinaman who dropped dead at his feet, and he said, "Is this the usual customary greeting here, or are they suffering from malnutrition?" And they said, "No, it's because he sang 'Come into the Garden, Maud, for the black night has flown," and she opened that delicate ancient creature's carcass, where the wax or stuffy ear-drobe in order to pass the siren safely, which brings, of course, to Cinderella, who sat by the embers of the fire because she hadn't remembered to put her winter underwear on, you see. And this old witch came in, which is part of the siren business, and she said she gave her 3 wishes, and your pumpkin turns into a carriage or a load of rats, you know, as the case may be. And the prince said, "Anyone who fits that Wellington boot on their feet will be my wife." Well, she cried, joy in the eye bold, joy to behold, and I can't really think... Oh.
That's the first time for a very long time that anybody has actually managed to speak for just a minute without being interrupted. Nearly all of it was completely irrelevant to winter woolies. But it was a magnificent effort, and I'm going to award Kenneth Williams a bonus point. So you start off with 2.
Thank you very much. Bonus points, not to be sniffed at.
Right, Geraldine, your chance to try and defeat the inimitable Kenneth. Geraldine Jones, will you talk for just a minute on impressing strangers starting now?
The best strangers to impress are those you meet in railway carriages, preferably first-class ones, because you meet a better type of sex maniac in them. I always like to...
Kenneth Williams, what is your challenge?
Yes, why? We don't want a load of filth on the show. I mean, what's it got to do with sex maniacs?
Kenneth, we do not want a load of filth on this programme. Will you please keep quiet and let Geraldine Jones continue with her subject. Geraldine, you have 49.5 seconds left to discuss impressing strangers. Starting now.
The nicest thing about this is that you can pretend to be somebody completely different from who you really are. I always like to impress strangers that I am a spy, and for this reason I always travel on trains wearing dark glasses and an astrakhan collar. I also undo the heel of my shoe from time to time and extract little things that look like tiny microfilms. Everyone in the compartment looks at me very strangely, and I sort of sniff and impress them that I'm a sort of female James...
Kenneth Williams.
Hesitation.
Yes, I think this time she was.
Undoubtedly, she was hesitating all the time.
You have another point for that, and you have the subject of impressing strangers, Kenneth, starting now.
Well, of course, the first thing to do is to behave with an air of confidence. The moment you walk into the room, you must appear to know exactly what you're doing. If you don't come in with that impression, they will think, oh, he don't know what he's doing. And, of course, thereafter, you don't stand a chance about impressing them. The first thing we all want to do when we come into a room is to be liked. I mean, none of us want people to give us the cold shoulder, do we? So we all become very nice, very happy, very... I won it, you see.
Kenneth, it's your day. You're playing the game with a flamboyance that ill becomes you.
Yes, I don't know what's come over me.
Well, anyway, you've taken a commanding lead, and Geraldine has got a point. Clement has yet to score, but
I have yet to speak.
Look, don't worry. He can come from behind and win convincingly if you're not careful. So, Clement Freud, it is your turn to speak, and no doubt win some points, and a subject which I'm sure you can discourse on at great length, but just 60 seconds will do. Matches. Starting now.
Matches also tend to be contests between people, teams, clubs, universities, or institutions. But perhaps in the first instance, the general public will think of this word in the context of pieces of wood which have a sulfuric adhesive at one end, which is struck against emery paper or similar substance.
Geraldine Jones.
Hesitation.
I think you're right. Yes, Geraldine, you have a point. You have the subject. You have 36 seconds, and the subject is matches starting now.
Matches offer an enormous amount of entertainment, whether you're making matches between your friends and hoping that X will marry Y if you can only bring them together at a suitable moment.
Clement Freud.
That's devious. X marrying Y.
Yes, that's true.
Best friends.
Geraldine,
nasty.
it sounds very nasty, but can you qualify to make it not sound nasty for us?
Well,
In about 2 sentences, very rapidly.
I don't like to say too much about these friends of mine,
Then
but I
it's
can assure
definitely
you that
devious.
they
It's
do
definitely
exist.
devious.
Yes, it's devious.
You have a point, and you have, how many seconds? You have 27 seconds for matches, and you start now.
Matches are not essential because it is believed that if you rub two Boy Scouts together, a similar sort of thing will happen.
Geraldine.
Deviation is
Yes,
one of matches.
if your
Boy
X and
Scouts.
Y was devious, by golly, those Boy Scouts are devious. My goodness me. You have a point, you have the subject back, Geraldine. You have it's 18 seconds. It is matches starting now.
They also make wonderful toys for very fidgety people like me. You can take a box of matches, build them into houses, strike them against each other, see if you can strike a match and hold it at the other end so that it burns along the whole way and you get a nice little black bit that doesn't look at all like the original thing you started with. You can...
For any listeners who may not have established our scoring system from the what's been going on, when the bell goes, whoever's speaking gains another point. Geraldine was speaking then, so she is now equal in the lead with Kenneth Williams, and Clement Freud is trailing somewhat. Kenneth Williams, it is your turn to begin. Oh, Kenneth, after your performance in the first one, what a subject Ian Mester's thought of for this one for you. I can't even pronounce it. Grandiloquence.
Oh.
I'll give you a second to think about it.
No, I'm all right.
Are you all right, are you? Grandiloquence, starting now.
Well, of course, this is taken, I think, generally to mean over-ornamentation in speech, rather like the St. Pancras station. And we're told, of course, that the architect of that cried his eyes out when it was opened and he said, "Oh, it's too lovely, it's too lovely." And indeed, crying brings us back to grandiloquence. Shakespeare himself says, "Speak the speech, I pray you, as I pronounce it to you, tripping it on the tongue, or do not mouth it," as some of your...
Geraldine Jones.
Deviation.
Why?
Well, I think that if we'd let him finish this speech, it would have been over the minute, and we would have got what is not grandiloquence rather than what is.
Well, Geraldine, you're completely wrong. He hasn't even gone half a minute yet. He's no expression of grandiloquence, and I felt that Shakespeare probably was quite a good example of it. So, Kenneth, I'm still with you. You still have grandiloquence, and you have 36 seconds, and you start now.
Well, another example of it would, I suppose, be summed up by Disraeli's remark about the man who was indulging in it to excess when he said, in grandiloquence, I mean, he said the gentleman is overcome by the exuberance.
Repetition. He said.
Well, I had to, dearie. I mean, it was to underline the point.
Actually, this is one of those difficult situations. I do think that Kenneth was trying to illustrate his point, and yet he... Repetition. His point was somewhat devious, I thought. But Geraldine has challenged on repetition. Now, I'm going to put it quite clearly to this delightful-looking audience here. If you think that Geraldine's challenge was justified, will you please cheer? If you think it was unjustified, will you boo? And will you all do it now? Kenneth there with you?
Yes.
You have another point. You're well in the lead as well. You have 23 seconds. You have grandiloquence, and you start now.
Well, you see, Disraeli did say about this, the gentleman was overcome by the exuberance of his own verbosity. And that, I think, would be...
Clement Freud.
Repetition. Disraeli said that.
You accusing him of repetition of Disraeli?
Yes.
Shut up, Kenneth Williams.
I said nothing.
You said quite enough. You are playing to the audience. Clement Freud is trailing for once, and he'll probably soon catch up. Watch out. He has the subject of grandiloquence. Clement, you have 14 seconds, and you start now.
Grandiloquence means talking rather like Kenneth Williams, only more slowly. It's a fine, noble, and upstanding way of speaking and impressing people at the same time who look up to the speaker saying,
Oh, he won.
Well, Clement Freud is catching up on Geraldine Jones, who is catching up on Kenneth Williams, but Kenneth is not going to be caught up. He's still in the lead. Clement Freud, it is your turn to start, and the subject is the art of letter writing, and you have 60 seconds starting now.
The art of letter writing is generally attained by the use of a pen, a pencil, or some other instrument, which, when pressed onto a piece of paper, leaves a mark of some kind. Many letters begin with such good phrases as "my husband and I," or just "Dear Charlie, thank you very much indeed." And these pieces of paper are then put into an envelope, which is sealed by licking the adhesive substance on the envelope.
Geraldine Jones.
Deviation.
Why?
Well, these are the rather crude mechanics of putting paper in envelopes, nothing to do with the art of letter writing, composition.
Quite agree, actually. Putting letters into envelopes has nothing to do with the art of letter writing. That's what you were trying to say, isn't it?
That's what I thought I said.
Geraldine, do you want 2 points? I'll give you one and the subject and 30 seconds for the art of letter writing starting now.
I have developed the art of letter writing over a long and difficult period. You need to write an awful lot of letters before you feel that every piece of composition that you write has that unmistakable ring that you, the great Geraldine Jones...
Clement Freud.
Hesitation.
Unfortunately, yes. Clement, you have another point. You have the art of letter writing starting... Oh, and the time. You have 16 and a half seconds starting now.
The most truly artistic letter I've ever received did come from Miss Geraldine Jones, who wrote to me from the Oxford Union, and the letter was one of such artistry I shall now recite it in full. Dear Mr. Freud, I would like you very much... This was duplicated.
Kenneth Williams, it is your turn to begin. Oh, first of all, there's a penalty they're going to inflict on you this time.
Oh, I hate them.
I know. It's quite a simple one. It's a collective one. They, the word they. You mustn't say the word they. The subject is bird watching. You thought about it for a second. I think it's only fair when you have to leave out the word they. You have 60 seconds starting now.
Well, of course, you do need your hollow trunk. You must have a hollow trunk, and you get inside it, and you stick all these twigs and leaves onto your ear and all over your arms, so that you do look like a tree, and then possibly the birds will come right close to you. It's no good putting a load of snakes in your ear like Medusa, because birds don't go for snakes apart from eagles, and eagles aren't very often seen in England anyway. I mean, that one got out of the zoo the other day, and all those birds, got rushing...
Geraldine Jones.
I was just getting
Hesitation. Geraldine, you have a point. You have 29 seconds for bird watching no they starting now.
I have no interest in looking at the feathered birds that Kenneth Williams has been talking about. Equally, I think I would be accused of deviation if I claimed to do any of the bird watching that is vulgarly known in Cockney language as looking at women. So I suppose I must just talk about something that I don't really know anything about. If you're watching birds, apart from all the camouflage that the more sophisticated bird watchers...
Clement Freud.
Hesitation.
Yes, definite. Oh, definite.
Well, I actually thought it was, but I'll tell you definitely, I think it was, but there seems to be such a vociferous audience here who want to make their feelings felt. I will give them a chance to do it again. If you think that she was hesitating, will you please cheer? If you think she wasn't hesitating, boo. And will you all do it now? She was not hesitating, Clement Freud. The audiences are the final judge. Geraldine Jones, you have another point. You have 7 seconds. You have bird watching no they starting now.
Only flamboyant people like Kenneth Williams need to dress up in twigs to watch birds.
Kenneth Williams.
Deviation. The subject is bird watching. It's not me dressing up in twigs.
I think the idea of you dressing up in twigs is very devious. I quite agree. Kenneth, you have the subject. And here we go, fellow. You have 2 seconds for bird watching starting now.
Well, in winter you get the blue tits, of course, and they're very...
Kenneth Williams, with that last remark of his, believe it or not, not only gained an extra point, he crept into second place alongside Geraldine Jones, who are both just about 1 point behind Clement Freud. Geraldine, it is your turn to begin, and we're having another penalty on this round. The penalty is the word I. You mustn't say I in anywhere at all. The subject is humbugs. Give you a second to think about it. Humbug, 60 seconds, starting now.
It's extremely difficult for egocentric people like me to talk about anything without using the word that is vetoed in this game. Humbugs, I think, are mainly...
Clement Freud. I think Clement Freud. Yes, you have a point. You have 51 seconds for humbugs, no I, starting now.
Humbugs are delicate sweets made of spun sugar, flavoured, as often as not, with mint.
Geraldine Jones.
Hesitation.
Hesitation, you are right. You have another point. You have 43 seconds. Humbugs, no I, starting now.
Humbugs can also be people. The sort of people that end up in Parliament saying things that they don't really mean, saying things that sound good but in fact are very specious indeed. The humbugs that...
Kenneth Williams?
Hesitation.
Hesitation, you have a point. You have the subject. 30 seconds. Humbugs, no I, starting now.
Humbugs are people, of course, who continually indulge in bigotry. They're always to be found with prejudices and nasty theories of their own which they wish to impose on everyone else, and they're to be avoided like the plague, like a load of locusts in society. And I, for one, believe in the
Clement Freud, you have another point. I don't need to ask you what it was for. You have 14 seconds, starting now.
Kenneth Williams, as he has so rightly said, is not a humbug, because this sort of person is a phony, a difficult and complicated politician who speaks words that he doesn't mean.
Geraldine Jones.
Repetition. We've had this idea 3 times.
I don't think within the rules of the game he really was. He has another point with 2 seconds to go for humbugs with no I, starting now.
Most good sweet shops sell these.
Well, from the listener's point of view, the interesting point of view is Geraldine hadn't challenged there, probably the scores would be equal, but it does mean that Clement Freud is now in the lead with Geraldine Jones and Kenneth Williams equal second still. Clement Freud, it is your turn to begin, a subject which I feel that you can talk about with some authority, we hope so, but just 60 seconds will do. The opposite sex. Oh, and haven't given you the subject. Think about it for a second, because we're going to have a real penalty this time. You mustn't say either the word he or she in talking about the opposite sex for 60 seconds, starting now.
I always refer to the opposite sex as it. I find that people prefer this to the definite article, and immensely flattered, especially when they come into a room and you turn to your guests and say, I can't remember its name, but it last came into this room wearing a skirt or dress or coat. And...
Geraldine Jones.
Hesitation.
Hesitation, yes. We didn't know what that it was doing, did we? Right, Geraldine, there are 37 seconds left for the opposite sex without mentioning he or she, starting now.
It is, of course, perfectly logical for the opposite sex to all us human beings to be called it, but it makes it much...
Clement Freud.
Hesitation.
Hesitation, yes. Clement, you have another point. You have the subject back for 30 seconds. The opposite sex, no he or she, starting now.
From my own point of view, this, of course, refers to women, who are the best possible opposite sex for a man. Women are lovely, fat, blousy, bumptious creatures who creep into one's life full of little sayings that are endearing and homely and kindly and make one feel warm and comfortable and wanted. Women are easily distinguishable...
Geraldine Jones.
A plethora of women.
Oh, what a clever challenge, yes. Yes, I think it was a very clever challenge because there were a lot of women going around here. You're quite right. And so we have a repetition of women, if not spoken, certainly by implication. And so, Geraldine, you have a point, you have the subject, and if I favoured you, probably it's fair because Clement's in a commanding lead. You have 6 seconds left for the opposite sex, no he's or she, starting now.
I dislike the phrase opposite sex because it has a sort of circumlocution about it. You'd feel that when people talk...
Clement Freud, no, Clement, you clouded just before it.
Hesitation.
No, I'm sorry, there was no hesitation. Geraldine has another point. She has 1 second left for the subject of the opposite sex, no he or she, starting now.
People who talk about...
So she has another point. Well, Geraldine, you have now managed to creep into an equal lead with Clement Freud, and Kenneth Williams is, alas, trailing a little behind. And if you've never seen Kenneth Williams trailing a little behind, you haven't missed anything. Kenneth, it's your turn to begin. Something we hope that you can tell us a great deal about, in which 60 seconds, English slang, starting now.
This is not something I'm really very qualified to discuss because slang is, of course, born of laziness in speech and is generally used by people without a very large vocabulary. My vocabulary is very extensive indeed. But I suppose a good example of slang would be that Cockney rhyming practice whereby they say apples and pears for stairs and shout nolla for collar and north and south for mouth. I believe this is a common parlance among Cockneys, and they say, what you got in your north, when they mean, of course, in your mouth. And they also say, are you going up the apples, when, of course, they really mean the stairs.
Clement Freud.
We've had that once. Repetition.
Yes, we've only had it once, though. I think within the context of the game, I think he...
No, he's quite right. He's absolutely
he?
right. He's perfect.
Do you want to give it to him?
Yeah.
Oh, Kenneth, you're so generous. Kenneth Williams has given Clement Freud a point, and, of course, the subject, which he obviously didn't want. And 19 seconds, Clement Freud for English slang, starting now.
Perhaps the most endearing form of English slang, as Kenneth Williams so eruditely pointed out, is rhyming slang, in which measure of speech I would like to commend to your attention happies. Now, happies is rhyming slang for flowers, coming from happy half...
Geraldine Jones.
Hesitation.
Yes, I think there was just a mild hesitation there. With only 2 seconds left, you have English slang starting now.
Contrary to what...
Clement Freud.
Hesitation.
Hesitation.
Yes, hesitation.
Clement Freud, you have the subject back. You have 1 second for English slang starting...
Slang? Slang?
Put your thumb on your
I'm
buzzer.
sorry, that was slang. Yes, I realized.
Kenneth Williams, it's your chance. Put your finger on your buzzer. Clement Freud, you have 1 second left for English slang starting now.
Any form of speech...
Well, Clement Freud has taken a minute lead from Geraldine Jones, and Kenneth Williams is still, alas, trailing a little, but only a little. Geraldine, it's your turn to begin. Geraldine Jones, the subject is brewing. For 60 seconds, can you think? I'll give you a second. You've gone so wide-eyed with amazement. Brewing. It's rather a male subject, isn't it? But anyway, start now.
Brewing tea is something I can do. Brewing beer is something I couldn't possibly do. I wouldn't really want to be able to brew beer because I think it's a rather revolting drink. Tea, on the other hand, usually gets worse the longer you brew it. It goes stale and horrible and smells. It goes darker in colour. It generally tastes absolutely... This is a form of sadism on the part of the other 2 players of this game.
Clement Freud.
Deviation.
She was not deviating.
Sadism has nothing to do with brewing.
I think Geraldine Jones was not committing any crime. She was being intimidated. Geraldine, the subject is still yours. And you have 24 seconds left for brewing. And another point start.
It's extremely difficult to talk about brewing when you're rendered unable to speak by giggles which are produced by the sadistic onslaught of the 2 men on either side who want to hear you make a fool of yourself talking about your ignorance on a subject like brewing. Brewing is extremely complicated.
Clement Freud.
Repetition.
Brewing, yes. She has brewed up quite a few times. So, Clement Freud, you have another point. You have the subject of brewing, and you have 8 seconds left, starting now.
Brewing is something that takes time. In the case of beer, it means the betterment of the product by letting it rest.
Well, that, alas, is all we have time for in just a minute. Kenneth Williams was just behind Geraldine Jones, who was just a little way behind Clement Freud, who was this week's winner.
The chairman of Just a Minute this week was Nicholas Parsons. The programme was devised by Ian Messiter and produced by David Hatch.
present Kenneth Williams, Clement Freud and Geraldine Jones in Just a Minute. And as the minute waltz fades away, here to tell you about it is this week's chairman, Nicholas Parsons.
Thank you very much indeed, and welcome once again to Just a Minute. And need I remind you of the rules? Perhaps I should remind myself. They're going to try and speak, each one of them, for just a minute on some unlikely subject which I will give them without hesitation, without repetition, and without deviation. And if either of the other two think the third one is guilty of this crime, they may challenge and so gain points for themselves or otherwise, which I'm sure will become clear as we proceed. Geraldine, it is your turn to begin, and for that fine academic mind of yours, Pythagoras. What about that for a good subject for you? And would you start talking now?
Pythagoras was a rather ordinary Greek who lived a long time ago. Apart from this, though, he and I do have one thing in common. We both doodle. While I throw all my doodles modestly away, however, he kept his, and among them was a lot of doodling with a triangle. Among this, scholars in subsequent ages have discovered various things about triangles which strike me as the most incredibly irrelevant and boring facts. It's odd enough that you should want to investigate a triangle at all, but even supposing that you do, then to investigate how many squares it can have on each of its sides...
Clement Freud, you've challenged. Why?
Deviation.
Why?
Squares on a triangle.
Geraldine, would you like to qualify what you're going to say in a half a sentence or one sentence?
It's Pythagoras' idea. It's all I know about him, I'm afraid.
Ah, you don't know enough, I think, to came to a point so clear.
Yeah, I think she ought to. It's quite right, because Pythagoras talked...
Yeah, the square and the hypotenuse is equal to the sum of the squares on the other two sides.
Yes, so...
But I thought Geraldine didn't know that, so I was going to give the point to you.
Well, I thought perhaps she didn't know, but...
But you Clement Freud, you're very magnanimous. You challenge to get points, and then you give them back to the person you challenge. What a magnificent gesture. All right. Geraldine, Clement Freud's given you a point, and you have still 27 seconds for Pythagoras, starting now.
I now know that the sum of the squares on the hypotenuse, thanks to Clement Freud and Nicholas Parsons, equals...
Clement Freud. Why
Deviation.
Why?
Because it's not the sum of the squares on the hypotenuse, it's the sum of the squares...
You're
it's
quite
the sum of the squares on the other two sides.
That's right. The square and the hypotenuse is equal to the sum of the squares on the two sides. Clement Freud, you have 22 seconds for Pythagoras, starting now.
Pythagoras was very happily married to an elderly woman known as Blueberry Pie around that part of Greece. And Pythagoras and Blueberry raised many children who were famous in their own fields of geometry and pure arithmetic, and kept algebra entirely out of it. Thank you.
Geraldine Jones, why did you challenge?
Hesitation.
Yes, I think so. I'm surprised you didn't challenge before. You have Pythagoras back for 2 seconds, Geraldine, starting now.
Pythagoras was
Clement Freud, you challenged.
Hesitation.
Hesitation. You have another point. You have 1 second, Clement Freud, for Pythagoras, starting now.
Is equal to...
Geraldine Jones, she was in.
Hesitation.
Hesitation, of course, you're absolutely right. Yes, you have half a second, Geraldine, for Pythagoras, starting now.
He was a terribly sadistic...
Actually, Ian Messiter, who was sitting beside me, managed to avoid there, so Geraldine gets the point. She gets an extra point for speaking as the buzzer went, so... Well, Clement Freud is now a little in the lead. 1 point behind Geraldine Jones, and 1 point behind that is Kenneth Williams. Clement Freud, your turn to begin. A subject that we hope that you can talk to us about, making a cup of tea. Can you discuss that in 60 seconds, starting now?
Making a cup of tea is rather more difficult than making a pot of tea, but I will try to answer the question that you gave me, perhaps slightly deviously, but we shall see. You get a cup and ideally warm it, and put into the cup tea leaves, which should... Oh,
Geraldine Jones, yes.
Hesitation.
Hesitation, yes, he was trying to be so clever in taking the subject too literally, which I thought was a great effort. Anyway, you have a point, Geraldine. You have 40 seconds for making a cup of tea, starting now.
As a patriotic Englishwoman, it's very difficult to talk about making a cup of tea, because the only people who make cups of tea are foreigners, people who dangle tea bags in a cup of hot water and produce a rather revolting, insipid brew, which generally doesn't taste awfully nice with milk. This reminds me, of course, of brewing, but I shall...
Clement Freud.
Deviation.
Why?
It reminds us of brewing. We're talking about cups of tea.
But as you can also brew tea, I think it's not justified. Geraldine, you have another point. You have 22 seconds for making a cup of tea, starting now.
It's no use really letting a cup of tea stand in order to...
Clement Freud.
Repetition. 7 cups.
Yeah. There's certainly a lot of cups of tea. Clement, you have another point, and you have 20 seconds for making a cup of tea starting now.
If to be reminded of brewing is not deviation, a cup of tea reminds me of flying. You sit in a seat and you pull forward the propeller lever.
Clement, Kenneth Williams, lovely to hear from you.
Well, yes. We've been so nice to each other. I'm bemused, dear, I am.
Well-
Deviation, of course, sitting in for aeroplanes has nothing to do with discussing making a cup of tea. Deviation.
Do you wish to justify it very rapidly, Clement? Can you, in one sentence? What
Yeah,
you going to say?
I'd like to hear Kenneth Williams.
Thank you ever so.
You have 10 seconds, Kenneth, and you have another point, of course. You have making a cup of tea, and you start now.
Tea, of course, as everyone knows, is grown on the Chiltern and Cotswold Hills.
Clement Freud. Clement Freud.
Not grown on the Chilterns.
Half a point each. You have to justify it. Right, a half point each, so we're still with you, Kenneth, with 5 seconds to go. Make a cup of tea starting now.
And these girls pick this tea and they're dressed in gay bandanas which they wrap round their heads and they cry out when they... Oh, tell me I've leapt into the lead.
You leapt all but into the lead.
Well,
You are about half a point behind Geraldine, who is half a point behind Clement Freud.
no.
It's neck and neck. And Kenneth Williams, it is your turn to begin with the delightful subject, proposals. 60 seconds, if you can, starting now.
Proposals. The word, of course, is derived from pro, which is to be for something, and pose, which is, of course, to pretend to be something you're not. Many people connect it with marriage, which, of course, would fulfill that definition, because many people would wish they hadn't got the one they were stuck with. In a sense, that makes sense. On the other hand, a lady once told me that she was proposed to by carrier pigeon. And she said she was there in her garden waiting for her message, watching the birds wheeling and turning. And a neighbour said, "What are you doing?" She said, "I'm waiting for it." And she said, "Oh dear, I think you're asking for it."
Clement Freud.
Hesitation.
Hesitation, yes. No. You can embroider to us. I can go with you to a certain extent on your
When I get worked
embroidery.
up, I often throb a bit.
Yes. You were throbbing too much. I said I can go with you to a certain extent on your embroidery, Kenneth, but I think you went a little far on this occasion, so Clement Freud has an extra point. He has 16 seconds for proposal starting now.
The normal method of proposing to a young woman whom you want to take as your wife is to approach her father and ask him whether you can have her hand in matrimony. This is ideally done by getting down on one knee, which you will later do to the girl in question, and saying, "Sir," you always want...
I would have thought that was rather devious, saying to the girl in question, "Sir," but still. Clement Freud, as you were speaking as the bell went. You have taken a good lead, I would say, yes. And Geraldine is still a little behind you, and Kenneth is half a point behind Geraldine. Geraldine, a subject for you now, spooks. Would you try and talk for just a minute, starting now?
Spooks' Christian name was Jim. He was a very tall, thin young man who used to drink vast quantities of whiskey and brandy, and because all the people he associated with were high-powered, dynamic wits, they used to make lots of puns on his name and call him Spirits for short. Of course, he used to also live in a...
Kenneth Williams.
Hesitation.
Hesitation, I agree. You have another point, Kenneth. You have 48 seconds for... No, less than 43 seconds for spooks, starting now.
This is, of course, the plural form of to cock a snook, which means to act derisively with the form of gesture.
Geraldine Jones.
Regrettably, deviation.
Yes, would you justify it just for the audience?
It was snooks instead of spooks with a P.
Yes, it's spooks.
Oh, your diction's dreadful.
However bad my diction may be, if you'd been listening to Geraldine Jones at all attentively, you'd have realised that she was on about spirits and such like.
But I'm concentrating on whether she hesitates or not. How can I think of both things at once?
I think you're emotionally thinking of cocking a snook.
Yes.
Yes. So, Geraldine Jones has another point. She has the subject back with 34 seconds left for spooks. Starting now.
Spooks always strikes me as a terribly metallic, angular word.
Clement Freud, why do you challenge? You pressed your buzzer. Do you wish to retract your...
Yes, it was a thumb slip.
What we have before described as one of those Freudian slips. Right. Back with you, Geraldine, and no points lost, but next time I will have to penalise, but 29 seconds for spooks starting now.
It was, in fact, one of the spooks I'm talking about that pressed Clement Freud's buzzer just now. They behave in a rather...
Clement Freud.
Hesitation.
Yes, this time you're right. You have a point, Clement, and you have 21 seconds for spooks starting now.
Rudyard Kipling was very impressed with this subject and wrote a poem which began spooks, 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 moving up and down again, and later decided...
Kenneth Williams.
Completely untrue. It's deviation. It was boots, boots, boots that were marching up and down. Nothing to do with spooks.
I thought you were going to have him for repetition. We had about 7 spooks.
Oh, yes, there should have been repetition as well. Yes, that's another thing. Yes, that should get me 2 points.
Ian Messerto sitting beside me thinks you should. I don't know why. I don't think so. No, I think No, actually, I'm not know that Rudyard Kipling one day didn't write down spooks, 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 spooks.
Yeah,
so
well,
I know what I'll do.
It's not been published, Ducky.
No, as you didn't challenge correctly, I will give you 1 point, but I will give the subject back to Clement Freud. Clement, you have 9 seconds for spooks starting now.
On a dark, wet August night, this is the sort of thing you're likely to see in the belfry of any provincial church. It comes up wet and...
I think Geraldine's challenge came in just beforehand, didn't it? A split second. All right, Geraldine, what is your challenge?
Deviation. We don't know what he was talking about, unless Kipling appears in the belfry.
Oh, I think you're all trying to be too clever now. No, I won't grant that. But as you buzz, as the buzzer went, Clement just gets 1 point for speaking as the buzzer went. He's got his round of applause, and he's definitely in the lead. And 1 point behind is Kenneth Williams, and 1 point behind is Geraldine Jones. Clement Freud, it is now your turn to begin. You have the weather. And anybody can talk about that in this country for considerable time, but just a minute will do, starting now.
There's an awful lot of weather in this country. And you mostly get it above the ground, often as high up as in the sky. It rains and it snows and sometimes it thunders. It's a very handsome subject with which to meet people.
Kenneth Williams.
Deviation. Weather can't be called handsome. It might be applied to a man, might be applied to me. Many people have said it of me. But you couldn't say the weather was handsome, no.
You couldn't?
No.
I tell you what we'll do. To put it to the audience once again, do you think that Kenneth Williams' challenge was justified? And if you do, will you cheer? If you think it was unjustified, will you boo? And will you all do it now? I don't know if it's easy to choose. Boo, I don't know. But there's certainly with you, Kenneth Williams. You have another point, and you have 43 seconds for the weather starting now.
Well, weather, of course, can be delightful, and I always go off to the east for the sunshine, you see, because you do get the sunshine in the east, which you can never get here. And I lie out there with my tan oil, and I rub it all over myself. Really luxurious.
Geraldine Jones.
Hesitation.
No, I would have had it for deviation, because I don't see what tan oil is, I think it's getting very devious. No, Kenneth Williams has 26 seconds for the weather starting now.
And indeed, I have had such a tan that I've been sometimes compared with Morocco leather. You've all seen those Morocco leather puffs.
Geraldine Jones.
Deviation.
Definitely, I won't go any further. 1 definite deviation and 1 point to you, Geraldine. And with 18 seconds for the weather, you start now.
I am the tainted weather of the flock is a line in Shakespeare which I've never been able to make out. It seems incredible that weather, which we all know is the only subject of conversation for those who don't like talking, it can be connected.
Clement Freud.
Hesitation.
Hesitation, you have another point, Clement. You have 6 seconds for the weather starting now.
Snowing is quite an interesting aspect of weather, and it usually happens in winter when the day is cold and...
Kenneth, it's your turn to begin. And I think it's about time we had a penalty. So in this round we'll have a penalty. You mustn't mention the word to. That includes T-O, T-double-O, or T-W-O. The subject is relations. And you start now.
Relations, well, of course, this generally refers to public.
Clement.
Kenneth said 2.
You have another point. You have 54 seconds for relations starting now.
I have relations in 2 law.
Geraldine Jones.
2.
Clement Freud, what were you going to say? I think I know.
I said I have relations in 2 law.
Yes, you're quite right.
So
That's what
sorry.
you did say. So Clement Freud cleverly has another point. He has 52 seconds for relations starting now.
While a middle-aged aunt of mine lives in Tewkesbury, I visit her usually on Tuesdays when we go...
Geraldine Jones.
Hesitation.
Hesitation, you're correct. You have another point. You have 43 seconds for relations starting now.
Relations are a nice composite term for all those people in your family that you don't know awfully well. The sort of aunts and cousins and sisters, not sisters really, sisters, relations perhaps, in-laws and cousins.
Clement Freud.
Hesitation.
Hesitation, yes. Clement, you have another point. You have 30 seconds for relations and none of the penalties. 2222, starting now.
Tombs are beautiful places in which one finds these people. Aunts, sisters, uncles, grandfathers and grandmothers, all of these apply under the term relations. And a relationship is a sort of boat with which one goes and sees...
Geraldine Jones.
Deviation.
Why?
Well, we're on to relationships.
That's
Out
a
of
very
relations.
clever challenge. I would have had him for hesitation. I was already getting down so slowly. I didn't go any slower, actually. But all right. A clever challenge, Geraldine. You have another point. You have 9 seconds for relations starting now.
Relations, of course, don't have to apply to people.
Clement Freud.
2 apply.
Very good. Clement Freud, you have another point, and you have the subject back with 7 seconds to go starting now.
A second cousin twice removed is the sort of...
Kenneth Williams.
Deviation. You mentioned cousins before. We had about 8 cousins before.
We haven't had a single second cousin.
We haven't had a second cousin. I think we've only had cousins once in any relationship, so I'm
Well, I
afraid...
haven't spoken for ages.
Maybe you're limited on relations, Kenneth. Anyway, I'm afraid, Kenneth, you have given Clement Freud another point with 3 seconds to go for relations, Clement, starting now.
And a lukewarm case could be made for a mother-in-law.
Well, Clement, with all his relations, has taken a definite lead. An equal second are Geraldine Jones and Kenneth Williams. Perhaps the balance can be redressed this time by Geraldine Jones. A subject... Oh, we'll have another penalty, this one, too, without saying the word of, O-F. And the subject is getting a break. A little second to think about it and start now.
Naturally, the best place to go to get a break is Oxford. You find the ideal situation for this in a little shop in a little back street where a nice man has a great selection of boxes in which...
Clement Freud.
Of boxes.
Of boxes. You're right, you have a point, Clement. You have getting a break starting now.
The best time to get a break is when you're particularly hungry, when you can go to a shop and purchase something which will make you less hungry, like a large bar coated with chocolate or a small piece of chocolate with some bar outside it. In the schools, there is a break at about half an hour before...
Like Geraldine Jones.
Hesitation.
Yes, I definitely think so.
Getting a bit slow.
Geraldine, you have the subject back with another point. You have 25 seconds for getting a break, not saying the word of, starting now.
This is terribly difficult because breaks are normally hidden in things like cars or bicycles. And when you only have to get a break by itself, it's extremely hard to distinguish.
Kenneth Williams.
Deviation. Sorry, hesitating.
Hesitation. Yes, Kenneth, you have another point. You have 15 seconds for getting a break without saying the word of, starting now.
Well, I got a break on the football field. Actually, I was doing an impersonation of Winston Churchill and somebody rushed up and they bashed me right across the...
Clement Freud, you challenge by?
Of Winston Churchill.
Of Winston Churchill, I'm afraid.
well.
Still, 10 seconds, Clement Freud, for getting a break, starting now.
If you get a motor car without a brake, then it is absolutely essential to go to your nearest garage and purchase such an item, because the ministry that deals with...
Kenneth Williams.
Deviation.
Deviation.
I'm sorry, hesitation.
Hesitation, there's that.
Yeah, I've got your deviation on the brain.
We're all with you, Kenneth. It's all right. Don't get rattled, because there are only 2 seconds left for getting a break, starting now.
Well, I had my nose bashed and it was broken right across, you see. Yes,
Over
I've
that
left.
late spurt up the field from Kenneth Williams.
Yes?
Not quite. Not quite, Kenneth. I'm terribly sorry. No, you're still 2 points behind Clement Freud, who's still in the lead, and Geraldine Jones is 3 or 4 points behind you.
I'm always behind, every week.
But you're not right behind. Always before they said you had a little behind.
Yes.
Kenneth, it's your turn to begin. The things in my wallet. We'll have no penalties this time. The things in my wallet, Kenneth, for just a minute, starting now.
The things in my wallet I will have to speak of, I'm afraid, in the past tense, because I lost my wallet and it had such dreadful repercussions that I did not purchase another. When I went to the police station, they said, what was the wallet like? I said it was Morocco leather, and the policeman said, how do you spell Morocco? And I didn't know myself. But in that was all my insurance stuff, my identity card, and my old ration book. I used to keep it because I loved it as a souvenir. And a photograph of Maudie Fittleworth. Maudie Fittleworth, you'll all remember, Fun with a Frankfurter. She was the top of the bill, and I adored Maudie. And I used to go round to her dressing room after.
Clement Freud, you challenged
3
me.
Maudies.
Yes, yes, we had a bit too much of Maudie, I'm afraid.
You couldn't have enough of her.
You speak for yourself, Kenneth, and we'll speak for the game. Clement Freud has a point. He has 23 seconds for... That's about to say for Maudie Littleworth. 23 seconds for the things in my wallet, starting now.
I have a number of pockets in my wallet, some of which are used for money and other for carrying cards and identity tags and credit slips. But ideally, the right-hand side of my wallet contains £5 notes, and the middle green £1 notes with 10-shilling notes bringing up the rear. On the left-hand side, I have my identity card, which I've kept for reasons...
Well, as Clement Freud was speaking, as the buzzer went, he gains another point, and it's Geraldine's, Jones's turn to begin. Geraldine, making an exit. I don't know whether you've ever done that, but here's a good chance to talk about it for 60 seconds, starting now.
The worst part about making an exit is that if you want it to be really spectacular, you have to accept that a lot of people must see it. And if you leave a lot of people in a room after you've gone, you're open to the awful, searing doubts all the way home that the moment the door has slammed behind you, they all burst into malicious conversation about you and all the faux pas you've made during the evening. The most important rule, however, that slightly overcomes this...
Kenneth Williams.
Hesitation.
Hesitation, yes, yes. Kenneth, you have the subject of making an exit. 35 seconds, starting now.
The thing to do, of course, is to wear a toga, because as you turn round, the great line of the garment swells and billows out, and you say, I'm going now, and out you go, and everyone gets the full effect. You can say, Je suis Roman, you see, which means I am Roman, because they wore those great things that you could swell out and billow about with.
Geraldine Jones.
repetition of billowing and swelling.
Repetition of quite a lot of things, I think. Geraldine, you have the subject back. You have 15 seconds for making an exit, starting now.
The vital thing to remember is not to leave anything behind. Nothing spoils making an exit more than having to go back a little bit later and say, I left my umbrella, or I left my handkerchief, or my handbag.
Clement Freud.
Repetition, too many alternatives.
May I answer that?
Yes, Geraldine. I heard
that's
what the alternatives were, Clement. Geraldine, would you like to justify, can you?
Well, I would say that an alternative was by definition not repetition.
Oh, what? Aren't they clever, all of them? Aren't they clever? And as the score is so close and you're a little behind, Geraldine, I'm going to give you a point.
And giving her a point. She wouldn't allow me my billows, would she?
It was I who didn't allow your billows.
Oh,
it wasn't
sorry.
Geraldine. Yes, quite right. We have 3 seconds left for Geraldine Jones on making an exit, starting now.
The best place, perhaps.
Clement Freud, you challenge what?
Hesitation.
No, definitely not. Geraldine has another point. And you have 2 seconds left for making an exit, Geraldine, starting now.
On a stage, an exit is much easier to make, because after...
Well, the sad thing about that last round is that if Geraldine had been challenged once or twice more, she might just have caught up the other 2, because it so happens that that is the last round of this particular game, and it also turns out that Clement Freud and Kenneth Williams are equal, so they are this week's winners.
The chairman chairman of Just a Minute was Nicholas Parsons. The program was devised by Ian Messiter and produced by David Hatch.